23 teaching coach in a public school. So I take some additional classes for that credentialing process. Part of that is I have to do assignments and whatnot. And I've been doing classroom observations here at Enterprise, and I have to do a presentation and record it. That's what the camera's for. So right now in my class, I've got a presentation on is The Essential Wooden, written by John Wooden. And in that book, he came up with a pyramid of success. The way that he put together his thinking and his game plan on how he was going to be successful in life. He was a famous basketball coach that was very successful. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But he was also known as a good business leader. He never worked in the field of business, but the things that he put in his book all of a sudden showed up in books like The 1 Minute Manager, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and they're generally endorsed in the corporate world. One of my jobs before I got into teaching was I opened up the Best Buy here in town, the Old Navy, Aaron Brothers, the Gap out in Anderson. So I was in management, and a lot of the things that were in this book were taught by corporate America. What we're going to do is I want to hand you guys a couple of handouts, and then we'll go over exactly the game plan here. If you guys can take one of these and just pass it back like this. You should have 2 handouts for this whole lesson, which we'll complete. This is not going to be too tough on you. You're going to get the Cliff Notes. This is like a whole semester class in college. Just this one book. I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes because as you move on in your education, if anybody in education or business know a little bit about the stuff in this book, and so I'm going to give you the shortcuts. So you want to make sure you take advantage of that. Outline for our time. I have 5 minutes to give you the intro, which I'm at 2.5, so we're doing pretty good there. We're going to have a small, short lecture reading that I'm going to do, a PowerPoint presentation, which we're beginning right there, and there's a crossword puzzle and definitions that you're going to get from this lesson. So we're going to start out. You should have your pyramid of success. That'll be your first sheet we're going to be looking at. The second sheet that you should have would be this vocabulary list. You're going to write the definitions that come up on the PowerPoint by the words that are on the sheet. So that once that is done, you'll be able to then place those words into the crossword puzzle, which is on the back, and get 100%. Pretty easy, right? Okay. The crossword puzzle, I'll just add as a note. This is a great tool for vocabulary words. If you go on, I actually left the Discovery website on here. If you have lists of vocabulary words that you need to go over, if you make them into a crossword puzzle, it just breaks up the monotony, and I use this quite a bit in college. All right. So let's start out with, let's go ahead and go to the first slide there.
For some reason, I get
All right, good. All right, so this is the first slide here. So you're going to want to have the definition. Mr. Gray, that's me. I'm the teacher that's teaching this lesson. You may want to remember that. I don't know why this is all coming dark out, but that's me. This is what I might be wearing. This is my weekend swag or whatever. This is my daughter Janae and her puppy Marley that she got at 8th grade graduation. And this is my basketball team that we had last year. Some of you girls are in here. Some of you know some of these other folks. Go ahead and go on to the next one. Okay. Once again, the class activity outline that we have, intro, the crossword puzzle sheet that you're going to want to have, PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to do a reading from the book, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this concept here, metacognition. You're going to want to listen closely when I explain that, because that definition is on your sheet, but it's not in the PowerPoint presentation. So you want to listen to that. And then the quiz is the crossword puzzle, which should be no problem. All right, next slide. Okay, the first slide here, this is the pyramid that you have, and this is John Wooden and a number of the awards that he received as a coach. He had 4 perfect seasons as a coach, as a college coach. 4 times his teams never lost a game. So that's never going to be duplicated again. And this is the way he thought about his success. Each one of the blocks that are in there has a word or a concept and a meaning behind it. You can't take one block out or none of it works. So it's built like the pyramids, as a continuous flowing structure, and everything relates to the other. So if we go to the, before we go on that, his definition of success is a peace of mind which is a direct result of the self-satisfaction in knowing you did your best to become the best you are capable of becoming, which is a mouthful. Okay? But they're not hard words. I mean, none of the words in there are really hard, but if you put them together, you have to think about your thinking about success. That's a key. You know, how do you think about your success and how are you going to get there? Next slide. Okay, so what's your plan? Education is obviously a part of that. We're all in school. We're all heading towards graduation. These guys aren't as happy to be in computer labs as I generally have a computer labs a fun time around here. These guys don't seem to quite be that happy. Next slide, please. Yeah. Okay, so why John Wooden? He was a winner and he was very successful. Not many people would argue that. He was a man of character. A lot of people that are successful, they're not necessarily known for their good character, because the higher you get up in life, it seems like the more people try to tear you down. And we see a lot of that. We have a pretty successful sports program here, some successful students that go on and do things. The more they know your name, the easier it is for them to try to tear you down. He was able to be successful and still be recognized as a man of good character. And then the business world uses his leadership tools in corporate America. We already kind of covered that. All right, next slide. He's also the author of this book. Okay, success. This is a key definition and a term that you're going to want to write down. Success is a peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to become the best you are capable of becoming. I knew that was long. It's already on your pyramid of success. It's already there. So it's right there on your sheet. So you've already got that definition. The reason I chose these pictures here is success is a destination, but it's also a journey. So, the way we think about our success is going to, what turns are we going to take? Also in this picture, you're soaring out there into the unknown. Your success is a concept to you, but if you don't have it, if you had it right now, okay, you wouldn't be going anywhere. So it's out there somewhere. And you don't know exactly what it is, but the thinking about it has to be, I'm trying to form what my success and what success is going to look like to me. But it is also a destination. So you're putting things in place to get to where where you need to be successful. John Wooden was a person that valued his opinion enough to write about how he thought about his success, and ended up being the most prolific thing he ever created. Bigger than any of the championships he won, bigger than all the salaries that he obtained. He's passed away, but his pyramid of success is something that's going to endure, longer than any of his other works. Next slide, please. Okay, one of the cornerstones, if you look at your pyramid, industriousness is a cornerstone, and he put that at the corner of the pyramid for a reason. He didn't just, oh, okay, I got 10 qualities I need to have to be successful. I put it at the corner. It means persevering determination to perform a task. So I'm in action, I'm moving towards something. Okay, you know, this, you know, he's probably after his dinner, so he's pretty intent on it. So industriousness. Next one. Enthusiasm. A great excitement for or interest in a subject or cause. A source of great excitement or interest. You know, enthusiasm. Is this what we look like in class? Is this what we look like when we're in practice? Is this what we look like when we're on our job? You know, we don't literally have to be there with our hands up, but internally we know whether we are enthusiastic about something. And you need to be enthusiastic about the thing you want to succeed in. So if you want to have this success and it doesn't match your enthusiasm, there's a problem there. There's going to be a disconnect. You know, you're going to have a hard time getting to your success if you don't have something that you know, have a great excitement for. And this guy's pretty excited. You know, this was just, you know, looked like a good enthusiastic picture. Next. Self-control. Okay, self-control. Where is that on there? If we're looking at self-control, it's the second tier. It's the second building block. So you started out with the intentness and the enthusiasm, but now we need to have self-control. Each one of us has emotions, desires, or actions that need to be controlled by our own will. You know, we exercise control over our own feelings, behavior. You know, I love this picture because isn't this what we do every single day when we decide, you know, am I going to do this, am I not going to do that? There's all these things coming in, and we have to decide which one of those things we're going to do. That's where the control comes in. And then here's a picture of some folks that, you know, maybe they're not, you know, expressing the best control in this situation. Yeah. I also put this picture because, you know, this is a scene that we realistically see. You know, people have a beard, and they want to lose their control. They don't want to have, they want to have inhibitions. They want to block out this with this. Okay? But we need to maintain control and self-control if we're going to be as successful as we're ultimately capable of being. Next slide. Okay, skill. If we look at our pyramid, skill is right in the heart and in the center of this pyramid of success. It means we have to have a skill that flows out into all the other areas of our success. We have to build that proficiency and a facility or dexterity that is acquired or developed through training or experience. A developed talent or ability. And that can be in a number of different areas. For some of us, it's going to be music. You know, if somebody's operating on me, I want them to have medical skill. I want them to have precision. And it could be more artistic. Skill is not just relegated to one area. We all are trying to find our own skills. And once we find that skill and gift, we need to develop it, not just, I'm good at something, so I'm better than, what's your name? Vic. Okay, maybe I'm better at Vic at, who knows, making cake. Are you a good baker? I can make a cake. I can make a cake.
You can make rice.
Hey, you haven't tried my other stuff yet.
So, but that doesn't mean that I just stop there. If I have a skill at something, I need to develop it to be above the rest of the crowd. I need to work on my strengths and not just be happy that maybe I make a little bit better cake than someone else. I have to be the ultimate cake maker. Next slide, please. Poise. It's a state of balance or equilibrium of stability, freedom from affection of embarrassment or composure. It's something that we want in our leaders. We want our leaders to be poised. You know, often quarterbacks, we have a pretty good quarterback around here. article just said that he only threw 2 interceptions the whole season. Okay, we're having a pretty good year. Poise. You know, it flows from your leader through the rest of your organization. If you're going to be a leader, you have to be poised. And, you know, in the business setting, you can't, you know, you have to be very calculating in regards to your poise. My experience opening up the Best Buy here in Redding, California, we had to go to Best Buy University, believe it or not, back in Minnesota. And this limo comes up to the store before there was anything built. They drive us all the way to the airport. We fly to Best Buy University, and they put you through the ringer. You know, you're learning stuff, and they're putting stress on you to pass tests, and you're back there in Minnesota. And if you don't come back from Best Buy University, I get to go and tell my wife, hey, guess what? That great job I got, I don't have anymore. And poise is something that they're looking to see if you're going to have when they invest in you to run their business. Next slide, Coop. Team spirit. Okay. And this is an eagerness to sacrifice personal interest and glory for the good greatness of the team. It's a selfless devotion to the group's welfare and interest. It means putting we ahead of me. That's the quote from John Wooden. We use the saying we, not me. Once again, this is a group that I felt was very exemplary of those qualities. This was a group of young ladies that I worked with that, you know, we have talent. We had talent. At this particular instance, we were in the championship game at Foothill High School early on in the year. We didn't do very well. We got all the way to the championship game. We didn't do really well in that championship game. And we took kind of a significant loss in the championship in front of a lot of people. But because of, you know, our devotion to the group, we were able to kind of rally and come back and win the next tournament, which was hosted here. You know, it was our home tournament. So this was a group that the whole group's ability was greater than any one person's ability. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I know you're. What do you have for number one?
I wrote, there is a relationship between our success and what we achieve. Success starts out as a state of mind. What we achieve is mainly some action we do on our way to a success, unless we succeeded by achieving a certain goal.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Good job, Tia.
Now, I mean, very good insight. I mean, if I hear you correctly, you know, she's putting some thought into her thinking, and that's what we're getting at. Someone else.
I said yes because the more driven and committed we are to reaching our goal and or success, then the more likely we will be to achieving it, or at least get close and better off than as if we'd never tried. Thank you.
Anyone that does not believe that there's any relationship between the way we think about our success and the level we ultimately receive. Anybody out there, you know, I'll play devil's advocate. I really didn't necessarily believe this when I was a very young person. I didn't necessarily believe that thinking about my thinking was going to do anything for me. And that was based on the background that I grew up in. I grew up in a very impoverished environment. I grew up in a, I don't know, some people call it ghetto, the hood, or whatever. I thought from minute to minute to minute because, just how it was. And it took me a while to kind of change my thinking, and I thought that overthinking things complicated things. Is there anyone here that believes that? I think there's certain truth to that. So there's two sides of it. You know, you can overthink things. Sometimes you just kind of act until you get there. Today, coming up to do this lesson plan, I kind of just have to fake it until I make it, so to speak. Has anybody heard that expression? Okay. I recently just became a volleyball official, and the first time I had to climb up on that stand You stand there in front of everybody. You know, volleyball. Has anybody seen volleyball? There's like one official standing way up there. Okay. And I had to kind of just say, I'm a volleyball official. I'm a volleyball official, and that's how it is. Okay. But when I think a little bit more closely about it, I was thinking about being a volleyball official. So once again, I do believe that there is a big relationship between the way we think and how successful we are. Okay, anyone else want to share? Okay, let's go on to number 3, and I want to hear from a number of people on this. Or number 2, excuse me, I've marked up on number 2. 2 successes that you want in your life. Someone willing to share?
I said adaptability and reliability.
Adaptability and reliability. Those can be very successful. It's a success to have those qualities in your life, for sure. So that's good. I mean, I expected I want a Porsche and a Ferrari. Okay, but the success there, it's not that you're wrong, but that is a very good way of thinking about it. So very good response. Yes.
My goal is I want to win a section championship and graduate from college.
Yeah. And those are a little bit more tangible. Okay, I want this or I want that. I don't think you're going to get those without maybe having some of the success that was mentioned in this case. Someone else? Yes.
Grades and being the best I can.
Grades and being the best I can. You have control over being the best that you can be, as long as you're putting in the effort. One of the things that was said in the book was, no matter the effort, we don't control our future totally 100%. The things we can control are inside the blocks. Someone else? What sort of successes would you like?
Me?
Yes.
I put becoming advanced in my profession and being truly happy in life.
One more. Let's see. Someone I have not heard from. Mandy.
I said I want to be successful in my career. And then I said I want to be successful as a successful mother.
Successful mother.
Be there for my kids.
So, very good thing. So, I just want to challenge you to think about those things and try to visualize your success, whatever that may be. So, the crossword puzzle, we want to finish up that. So, I'm going to give you guys another 3 minutes to work on your crossword puzzle, and then we'll go ahead and correct and kind of ferret out anybody that's still having difficulties. Go ahead and finish up. That's all.
I just said all